Welcome to How to Make a Game with UEFN. My name is Heather Storm. I'm a manager of Creator Evangelism at Epic Games. Basically, it's my job to help all of you, maybe hopefully, adopt UEFN. Now, preface, I originally planned this for you all to be able to click along with me and to have your laptops out and do things. And then I discovered that that's not the setup here. So I've changed some things around a little bit, and we're going to have plenty of time for questions and answer. But we're going to do 2 case studies and look at just like what is UEFN and talk about the differences between building a game with UEFN and UE. Not clicking. There we go. So who am I? I'm a developer. I have my degree in computer science, and I then went off and did crazy things at Salesforce and got a robotics patent, which makes no sense to do at a cloud company, but I did it anyway. And now I'm a UEFN games developer. It's my job to make video games, and that's really cool. I'm an educator. I've been in evangelism and education for 6.5 years. And outside of work, I am a creative. I crochet, I write, and I also sometimes stream on Extra Life. It's been a while, but I'm trying to get back into it. So today we're going to do that UEFN overview. We're going to look at the editor, see how you can launch it, what you can build, how quickly you can build something, and then we'll talk a little bit about what it means to ship and maintain your game on the Fortnite platform. So with UEFN, this is a great tool that allows you to build fast, publish, iterate, and earn money. We know that it can be really hard and intimidating to make a game, and UEFN is here to hopefully make it less hard. But we do this with some really cool tools. So we have the backbone of Unreal Engine, because that is the backbone of Fortnite and the whole ecosystem. And so this gives you the ability to use tools that you might be familiar with if you've used Unreal Engine before. Just because I'm curious, how many of you have made a game before in any platform? All right, and then how many of those in Unreal? Awesome. So for the one person in the audience, a lot of things will look and feel familiar to you as you launch UEFN, but things are going to work a little bit differently. For everyone else, hopefully you'll see that we've made things easier to actually click around and understand, but you're still getting that power of things like special visual effects and the cool stuff that we're doing with Nanite and Lumen. So there's tons of cool things that you can do here. And the nice thing about building with UEFN is that you get an out-of-the-box infrastructure. So you're building on the Fortnite platform. I don't know if you all happen to know this, but last week Fortnite launched a bunch of new games, all in Fortnite, so it's not just Battle Royale anymore. It's Lego, it's Rocket Racing, it's Fortnite Festival. But before all of that, we had all of your creator-made games as well. Box fights and mysteries and so many other things. And all of that was built because we provide this infrastructure to allow you to matchmake with the same matchmaking you would use for any other Fortnite game, but you're instantly with your friends and with the cosmetics that you know and you love. This also makes game dev considerably easier, because now you don't have to be worried about writing all of that complex back-end logic for online multiplayer. We take care of that for you. And this allows you to find fun fast. You can playtest in just one click, and I'm going to show you that one click in a minute. And you can even send that playtest code to your friends, have them test things, and it allows you to really do rapid prototyping and iteration in a game super quickly. Before we show you the editor, I want to talk about 2 specific things that are pretty unique in UEFN around developing your game. So the first is our devices. Devices are a weird way of thinking about game mechanics, so I wanted to spend a moment about them. They're the primary building block for our original tool set called Creative. This was a drag and drop interface where you could use Fortnite assets and drag in these devices to customize gameplay logic. They do all sorts of things like spawn in cars or humans, or maybe even have a billboard show up that gives you direction or instruction. There are a lot of different baseline out-of-the-box devices that we give you, and because UEFN is on Fortnite, you get all of those creative devices out of the box. So this allows you to just jump in and start messing around with some core gameplay mechanics. A little bit later, I'll show you how simple it is for you to set up a capture the flag game with, I think, not even 10 devices and not a single line of code. And then I'll show you some code to actually do something cool. Speaking of code, to develop with UEFN, you have to use our arbitrary language first. Now, you don't actually need to know code or write any code to make a game. But if you are a developer and you're interested in it, there is this opportunity to expand your gameplay mechanics. It scripts directly alongside the click-based platform, and you can use it to manipulate and chain together those devices from before to create customized and more compelling gameplay loops. In fact, this verse code, where it runs, it works. This is the special fun thing that we'll show you in the Capture the Flag game. Now, when it comes to designing a game, you could design a game that looks and feels just like Fortnite. We give you all of the Fortnite assets that we possibly can straight out of the box. So you could drag and drop and suddenly have a game and it looks like Fortnite. But we also allow you to bring in your own IP. So for those of you who've made other games or who are artists who want to bring in your awesome art, you can bring that in, bring in your static and skeletal meshes, program entire full animation flows with sequencer, texture everything. I'm really bad at art. And then you can also do sounds, which is quite fun. And not only can you do sounds with our normal audio devices through UE, but we also just launched a whole set of devices that we call the patchwork system, which basically bring an entire DJ kit to Fortnite. So you can come in and you can customize things. It's all a looping-based system. It's really fun. So there's lots of different ways that you can bring in your own custom way of dealing with things, whether that's activities through devices, the way things look and feel with custom art, or even the way things sound. But it's always important as you're diving in, and you'll see soon, it's pretty easy for us to dive in and start building something and then quickly get lost. So I just wanted to shout out that documentation is really important and that you should write it. I don't care if it's a Google Doc or a PowerPoint or you just wrote it on a notepad somewhere, but anytime you can write down what you're aiming for, it'll give you a baseline to test against later. This is something that my team has really struggled with because it is so easy to get in, prototype, and things are pretty self-documenting, but it can get really confusing later on when you're trying to debug because devices are so interconnected and there's no automated test framework. So documentation helps with that problem. I also mentioned earlier that testing is really easy. You can use what we call Live Edit, which launches an instance of Fortnite Creative, and jump right in, change some things. You can push your changes with Verse with a simple click of a button. And you can even share that private test code with a bunch of other people so that other people can play, you can get feedback. It's really fast and easy. So that was a lot of slides, and I want to show you games. So let's do that. Let's see if I can escape out of this. Stop presenting. Okay. So I don't have a good mouse pad, so I apologize in advance if cameras go crazy. So the first game that I wanted to show is this simple capture the flag game. Now I wanted to show this because, like I said earlier, it's got very few devices, it's not got a lot of gameplay logic, but it was really easy for us to set up. Over here on the right-hand side, your right hand? No, it's definitely still left. I'm sorry. Over here on the left side, I have this first team, Team Blue, and I've set up a few devices. This first device is our capture item spawner. All I have it do is spawn a flag of a specific team color. I also have a capture area, which is just looking for a flag of a specific team. I've set all of this up to be related to the blue team, which I think I call Team 1. I've also got a player spawner over here, and I have it so that the blue player spawns in the blue area next to all of their things, and then our opposite side, our red player, they spawn over here with all of their relative items. And so I've just copied that same logic, except I changed everything to red and the team to 2. I've also added a few things like a barrier to keep people into a specific space because I didn't want them to see all of the other stuff that's going on around here. And then I've also written 2 quick HUD devices that just display when the red flag is captured and when the blue flag is captured. This should say blue. No, I promise. Go back. There we go. And so it's really easy to set those up and even just change them right now live to properly show you which flag is captured. Now, I also have a couple of devices over here. We'll talk about those in a minute. But I wanted to show you quickly that after I dragged and dropped these devices from our content drawer, I'm able to just quickly hit launch session, which isn't showing up right now because I don't want to crash Fortnite. But it's right here. Normally you press launch session and then you load into Fortnite and you can play right away. So I can run, I can pick up a flag. Oh, I love you. And then I can come and drop it off. Now you'll notice I actually have a little bit of custom logic we didn't talk about, which is when I pick up the flag, I start to glow blue. That's because I wrote that custom verse logic that basically says anytime the flag is picked up, make the person glow their team color. Mostly just so that the other team knows not only do they have the flag, which is a great indicator, but there's another visual indicator that that's the person you should shoot. So this is a pretty basic game. It took me about 45 minutes to throw together before Unreal Fest, and we actually did it live. So if you want to see exactly all of those steps, I recommend you check out that video. But I wanted to show you a few other things that are pretty cool. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to open a project that I created earlier today. I'm going to end this session. Based off of a template that our documentation team wrote. I'm just going to wait a few seconds. This is why you're not doing it live. We'd all be waiting on the same internet. That is one thing that you should know that is different about UE versus UEFN is for UE you can actually do everything offline. UEFN, because you have that instant play testing to Fortnite, you do have to be online. So, yeah. Okay, where did it go? Why didn't it load? Please don't crash. All right. So this is a much more complicated template, but it's something that you guys can go to right now. If you were to load up Unreal Editor for Fortnite, you could launch straight into it. And the cool thing is that this is made by our documentation team. So as we fly around the world, we'll find all sorts of little billboards that will tell us what's happening in what area. And this is a great way for you to get started understanding how a framework works without having to go and build the whole thing yourself. So if I come over here, I think this is a player spawn room. Okay, so just like before, this is a capture game, except for that instead of a flag, this is a capture point. And so we have a point here that you have to stand in for a certain amount of time. But you'll actually notice, if I click on it, it's the same kind of capture area that I was using before. So it's that same device. I'm able to use it whether it's capturing a flag or waiting for a person to be in a space for a certain amount of time. And I can see here that our documentation team has actually written this great billboard that tells you exactly what's going on. I apologize for the strobing light. Let me turn that off. Light, where are you? Oh man. I'm not going to be able to turn it off. I'm sorry. It's not letting me click on the exact thing, so it's not taking me to it. Maybe? Alright, anyway. You can see that there is a billboard here that tells me that I should be able to turn off this light. I'm just not able to click on the light directly right now. Maybe this way. Yes. Okay. I should. No, that's just the whole station.
It's kind of like behind the billboard. The billboard's black.
Is it behind it? Yeah. Can I please turn you on? Alright, it's not going to happen. Anyway, there's lots of other things that we can explore, so let's go do that. So in order to navigate the window here, this is what I call the editor window. You can get around a couple of quick, easy ways. I like to right-click and use the WSAD keys because that is how I'm used to playing games, so that's how I'm used to making games. But there are also all sorts of things you can do, like if you've got a scroll bar, you can zoom out and zoom in. Lots of really easy tips and tricks. So over here we have an item placer, and this is actually what we're going to use to give our players weapons. And so in this case, we've placed this item here, and it will allow you to pick up a sniper rifle if you pass into this zone after a set of time. So it's a way for us to give you a reward, spawn it in the world, and have it here. And if I click on it, I can actually see here, you can come and interact with it, and we give you interaction text that says pick up item. In the future, we'll give you the ability to actually localize this. That's what that flag means. And then we can also see down here, we've actually given it an item by assigning it to this item array. I know this is a lot, and it might be a little overwhelming, but I promise, once you start, it's pretty fun. Now, I sort of jumped straight into games, and I totally forgot to tell you how to download this. So let's go do that for a second. In order to get started with Unreal Editor for Fortnite, you have to have UEFN and Fortnite installed, but you can just install them. They're totally free in the Epic Games Launcher. They do take up a ton of memory, so just be ready for that. And there are some minimum system requirements, if I go to the page, that you should know about before you can try to download it. But yeah, we list them all out somewhere. Should be right here. So definitely check this page out if you're interested in actually downloading it, but it's completely free and super easy. Okay, so let's say we have our great game here. We really love this deserted domination template. We've decided that we want to publish it. You actually can. You can publish this template if you'd like, or you can go and create your own game. And it's pretty easy to do so. There are a couple steps you gotta do. First, you just need to check your project size by coming over here and making sure that it's within the island memory. Because you're publishing to Fortnite, there's only a certain amount of memory that we can give you to actually run it on the server. There are lots of cool things, though, that you can do to make sure that your game loads anywhere. And the super awesome thing about checking this is that it also does all of the checks across platform, whether that's Switch or Xbox or PlayStation. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just hit go. After you've checked the project size, you can just hit publish, and it'll take you straight to the Creator portal to publish. The Creator portal gives you access to what we call the Island Creator Program. This program is made for all of you to be able to come in and say, hey, I have a really cool game. It's a prototype, or maybe it's like a super finished final project, and I want to publish it to Fortnite. You can do that by joining the Island Creator Program. You have to have had an active account for about 30 days, and there are a couple other requirements. But once you pass those, you're able to then publish. Aside from the stuff that we just covered in Editor very briefly, you also have to submit an IARC rating for your game. This is because we actually just changed our IARC rating as a game overall. Fortnite is no longer a game, it's now a platform. And so every single game that is on our platform needs to be individually rated. So you'll fill in that rating. It's really easy, I've done it, it's a couple of questions. And then you submit it for publication, and we check against our Island Creator rules to make sure that you're following all of the guidelines and that what you submitted to IARC is what you actually put forward. And then once it's published, your game is instantly discoverable in Fortnite. What that means is that if you go to the Fortnite Play tab, you can scroll through and your game can be visible there alongside all of our games like Battle Royale or like our newly launched titles. Your game sits right next to them. And the cool fact is that more than 45% of in-game playtime is already on creator-made islands. So if you have an idea, you should publish it here. People are going to see it and they're going to play it. And there are over 500 million active current accounts, and there are millions of players that come here to search and play games every day. And that means that you also can get paid. So we pay out engagement pay 40% of Fortnite's item shop revenue. And this includes all of the new item shop items that are available after our most recent launches. And so most of those purchases go to the pool, and then 40% of that is then distributed amongst the top engagement on the platform, inclusive of Epic. This roughly accounts to roughly 6 people estimated based off of April's 2023 payouts to be making $10 million this year. But even for somebody who's just getting started, hitting that $100 mark, like there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. This slide is also almost a year out of date. So there are more creators here, but there's also a bigger pool of money, and things will fluctuate as time goes on. So past earnings do not guarantee future, but there's a lot of opportunity. Once you've actually launched your game though, and you've done all those steps, you've built something that you love, you have to maintain it, because Fortnite is a live service platform, and that means your game is also a live service platform, or live service game. So Fortnite and UEFN come out with new patches roughly every 2 weeks. Right now it's almost winter break, so we're not launching anything until January. But those patches are pretty major and can introduce whole new systems and frameworks of things. So there are lots of different ways that you can find out what's just happened. We have release notes in the developer documentation. These are line by line exactly what you need to know for what new devices we just launched, if we gave you any new prefabs so that you can drag and drop those into your world, or if there's any updates that we've done to Verse. But this is also, like I said, it's a platform and an ecosystem. So we also release a blog every 2 weeks-ish that will deep dive into any new features that might have come out in our publishing platform, our IARC ratings, any of those sorts of things. So lots of places to go for updates to make sure that your game is still compliant and still playable. The easiest way, though, to figure all of that out is to join the Epic developer community. You just have to go to dev.epicgames.com, and then you'll be able to filter to UEFN. This developer community has expanded a lot in the last few years. It used to just be for Unreal Engine, but now there's a thriving UEFN community, an EGS community in case you want to publish your game to EGS. There's a lot of opportunity here to talk with other people and get hands-on, as well as log bugs to us. So something I haven't mentioned yet is that UEFN is still a beta tool. We are not out of beta yet. So there are a lot of bugs, and we know that, and we're very open about what our progress is on solving those bugs. But part of that is that you all have to log them, and the best way to do that is here on the Epic developer community. Okay. Sorry, I realized that I had extra slides there that we did not need. So there are a lot of different types of games that you can create with UEFN and with Fortnite, and I'd like to take this time now to explore what you all want to talk about. We could live build a box fight if you want, or we can look at other things in the editor. I really want to make this, leave this up to you all on what you kind of want to see and what else you want to learn about.